See you all. Let's go ahead and start with the mandala. Please make the mudra. Here is the great earth filled with the smell of incense and covered with a blanket of flowers. The great mountain, the four continents, wearing a jewel of the sun and the moon. In my mind, I make them the paradise of a Buddha and offer it all to you. By this deed, may every living being experience the pure world. Idam Guru Ratnam Mandalakam Niryatayame. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the song of the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create from the practice of giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration and wisdom, may I attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the song of the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create from the practice of giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration and wisdom, may I attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the song of the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create from the practice of giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration and wisdom, I will attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. Okay, rejoicing, yay. Who's going to start rejoicing today? Let's start with Evgeny.
Всем здравствуйте. Я хочу порадоваться сегодня двум классным...
Hello, I want to rejoice about 2 points. One, my karmic partner with whom I work according money, he got his result and we work more than 1 year. And the second point, I also have one more karmic partner. He is separated with his family and his daughter promises to visit him. He doesn't see her daughter more than 1 year, and I am very happy about it.
Very good.
Okay.
Excellent. Keep up the good work, and the more karmic partners you have, the more powerful the karmic you're making. So very good. Okay, let's go with Wendy.
Hi everyone. No video from me tonight. I have a very terrible connection, so it's audio only. So the last couple of days, I've been reflecting and rejoicing in some of the things. So I had a fantastic weekend. It was wonderful. Lots of really great things happened. And I was able to reflect on how that is obviously my karma that's allowed me to have such a wonderful couple of days and to really experience some very, very high emotions. And then, but at the same time, I also had some challenging interactions with some people, which is obviously my karma as well coming through. And it made me think about something that a teacher once said to me about how this is your karma that you're experiencing with this person. Do you want to experience it with this person, or do you want to get them out of your life and then just wait for the next person to come along and you to finish off at experiencing your karma? And so it made me reflect on that a little bit as to you know, what this is my karma to experience and go through, and how do I want to approach that? How do I want to do? So it's rejoicing in more in sort of like my reflection and not like noticing and thinking about it in the moment.
Very good. The way to get rid of a karma is basically is to have it ripen and then not react ignorantly. Then you burn that karma. That karma's used up, and you haven't reseeded it. So that's how I think about getting rid of it. Or you can do the 4 powers, but I tend to think more about the fact that I'm burning off these multiple seeds for Parkinson's, and I'm not replanting them because I have the right attitude toward how I got Parkinson's and how I want to get rid of it. So good. You had both good and bad experiences, and you kept both in perspective with wisdom. I think it's really very important to remember wisdom acts on both the good and the bad. You need to use wisdom with both the good and the bad events in your daily life. We tend to think we only need to use wisdom with the bad deeds, but if you're ignorant about where the good deeds come from, that's as bad as being ignorant of where the bad deeds come from. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, who's next? Daria.
Good morning, Venerable Sumati.
Mhm.
I'm Rejoice. I'm here in your class. I'm very happy, and I'm Rejoice. My parents alive. It's for me. I'm very happy, and my mother is the most powerful karmic partner for me. Because when I was a child, I always angry, and now I'm trying. Okay, she told me good things, and I'm struggling with my selfish. I'm losing always, but I'm not give up. And I try to not give up. And sometimes, oh my God, what are you doing, my selfish? I'm died. Because sometimes I'm angry. I think
Well,
not
you
good.
need to react when you're angry, you need to react with wisdom. And when you're selfish, you need to react with wisdom and be generous. The selfish seeds are going to keep coming because you've been selfish in the past. But every time you find yourself doing something, the result is selfish, counter that with the generosity towards somebody. And pretty soon you'll get into the habit of being generous without having to wait for a selfish instance to react. So that's my advice.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who's next? Anna.
Hello, Venerable Sumati. Hello, everyone. About my rejoicing. Well, I rejoice about my help to my close friend. She has pretty old laptop, and the battery is low, but it's very important for her to have the working laptop. And I recommended her the service, computer service, and they will change the battery in her laptop, and in this way she doesn't need to spend a lot of money for a new one laptop. She will pay just for a new battery, and I'm glad that my own experience was helpful for her.
Very good. Dedicate that toward her getting what she needs and you getting the help with computers or other devices, car, whatever, down the road. Very good. I just bought a spare battery for my computer. Used to be able to click a battery in and click a battery out. Now I got to take the whole thing apart. But my computer's 5 years old. In the not too distant future, they'll stop selling parts for it. And then I'm out of luck. So I have a spare battery ready for when my battery dies. But more about my computer when I do my rejoicing. Who's next? Katerina, what do you have to rejoice about?
Добрый день. Я радуюсь тому, что поймала себя на том, что в нескольких ситуациях, когда я раньше расстраивалась в отношениях некоторых, сейчас я перестала расстраиваться и так реагировать.
I am glad that in some situations I was upset, but now I start to understand these situations in other way, and maybe I not all time understand remember about emptiness and wisdom, but I got myself that I understand these situations and want to do something in other way.
Well, that's the best we can do is you're not going to be perfect in your response. I certainly am not perfect in my responses. I'm close, but not perfect. And so I don't beat myself up when I get mad at a Ziploc bag because I can't open it. I just kind of laugh and go, well, that's another Ziploc bag coming at me down the road. But it's really just, every day, every instance of every day is your karma ripening. Is the more you remember that and react to it, and don't think it of a neutral karma, don't think of it as, oh, it doesn't matter. It all really does matter. So, okay, Svetlana, you're, I think, the last one.
Yeah, hello, Venerable Sumati. Hello, everyone. I'd like to rejoice that we have this precious wisdom, and it helps us to be more mindful in our daily lives. And like 3 events I'd like to share. Like yesterday, I didn't slap a mosquito, which was on me. So I controlled it. But today, when I was returning home, some small insect was on my dress, and I tried to put it away. And after that, when I touched it, it died, and I regretted about it and did quit for powers. So, and it's like my confession for now, because I know what I can do more about this for now. And another situation when I had a conversation with a close person, family member, and he asked how am I what I'm wearing in the hot weather, and I replied, and he started to criticize me. I caught myself that I didn't get so strong angry as it was before. And after that, when I contemplated about it, I remembered that when I was a child, I criticized like my mother, some other people who were not like fashionable, or didn't wear some clothes which I think is cool. And that's why maybe I'm hearing such dialogues that they are asking, what do you wear? I'm telling, I bought a new dress. They are telling, you should wear white clothes. I'm telling, like, I didn't tell even that it's white clothes because it was in an angry mood. So even the facts are matching. It doesn't matter, because the anger is ripening from my past seeds, and the best that I could do not be angry in response. So yeah, I'm rejoicing that we have wisdom.
Good, good. Now, I have a story about dress. I'm not particularly concerned about what I wear. And when I was, well, when one of my nieces was about 5 years old, I came out, I was wearing shorts. I can't remember what I was wearing exactly, but she looked at me in as clear a voice as she must have been, maybe she was 3 or 4. She's pretty young. And she said in a very clear voice, "Uncle David, your clothes don't match." And she thought I was wearing like checkered shirt and a striped pants, which I wasn't. But she said that, and everybody looked at me and looked at her and said, "She's right." So I had to go back and change. But I thought that was pretty funny. Okay, my rejoicing. Well, I finally figured out the mouse issue. It's a conflict with another wireless Bluetooth device I have. So I just need to be careful using them at the same time. And I don't know how many of you have PC computers, but when you get the blue screen from IBM, from Microsoft, that usually is not good. So yesterday and the day before, I came back to my computer from having eaten dinner, and there was a blue screen, and it said, "We needed to reset your computer. There was an error, but we're taking care of it." So it happened twice. So I called Hewlett Packard, and the first guy said, "Don't worry about it, I'll fix it for you," and did a bunch of stuff and didn't fix it. And the second guy did a bunch of stuff, but I had to download some updates, which took half an hour. So I called back to get ready to finish the update. And I got a very competent, very friendly, very patient HP service rep who took me through the whole thing and explained everything very calmly, very sweetly. And so far, my computer's working very nicely now. So I didn't get mad at the the less than complete response I got from the first guy. He did what he needed to do, but I asked, "What about the error code?" And he just blew me off as, "It's not important that you know what the error code is." And I thought that was kind of rude. But so I rejoice in that. Oh, my other rejoicing is I just found out this morning there are approximately 200 Russian students that are interested in the White Tara teaching 2 weekends from now. 200. And they want to take me on as their teacher. 200. I'm not sure what to do with 200 students, but I'm taking them on, and I hope that works out well for them too. 200 students. I can't fit all those on my screen. Oh, I know. I'll tell my wife I need to get another screen. That'll go over like not real well. But what else do I have to rejoice? Well, I was able to do some small chores for my wife that she didn't think I could do. One of which she talks to her plants and tells them how much she enjoys having them. And we have a plant that we've had for probably 30 years. It looks like it's trying to die. So she said, I talked to it a couple of days ago, and she said it perked up. So she asked me to talk to it again this morning. So instead of saying, "Oh, that's silly," I said, "Okay." And I went over and had a nice conversation with the plant. And hopefully that's going to help the plant get healthier. If you told me a year ago I'd be talking to plants, I would have said, "Not in your life." But if it makes my life happy and appears to make the plant happy, I'll talk to just about, apparently now I'll talk to just about anybody. Now I'll talk to just about anything. So, okay. What else was there? I think, oh, I know the other thing. A week from today, let's see, I'm doing course 8 to class 8 today, then 9 on Friday, 9 on Thursday. Then we're going to do 10 in the review on Tuesday. So on Thursday, I'll assign questions. Svetlana, can you find out who of the students wants to be involved in?
Yeah, I will ask in the chat. I didn't ask yet. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's all right. I didn't ask you to do so. If you'll do that, let me know, and we can divide the questions up. So I'm going to take on teaching these new Russian students, ACI 1 and 2 and 7. So I need to figure out where I'm going to put those in my schedule. Well, I can teach them 7 when I teach you. Well, I know it's going to be difficult. Well, we'll figure something out. Anyway, okay, so class today is cutting roots of virtue and projecting karma. So now we know what we must do to collect as much merit as possible and do as little bad as possible. Collecting merit is basically the first 4 perfections. Who can tell me what the 6 the first 4 perfections, bodhisattva perfections are? Anybody? Svetlana?
Perfection of giving, perfection of moral discipline, patience, joyous effort, concentration, and wisdom.
Excellent, excellent. You really need to, if you've taken the bodhisattva vows, or want to, you really need to know those just that quickly and easily. Giving to, Geshe Michael prefers giving to generosity and effort means to be glad to be doing good things. Patience means not to get angry, not to be patient like waiting for a bus. So giving, there are 3 types of giving. There's giving physical things like money or presents. There's giving protection like a house or stuff like that. And then there's giving the Dharma. I like to have giving love and compassion in there as well. So I make it 4 aspects of the perfection of giving. Giving physical protection, giving physical things, giving protection, giving love and compassion, and giving the Dharma, which then the Dharma is obviously the most important because if it's done properly, it encompasses the other 3. Collecting wisdom is the last of the 2 perfections of concentration and wisdom. Why is concentration a part of collecting wisdom? Your mind has to be in the first part of the form realm in order to have the direct perception of emptiness. And to get there, you need excellent concentration, which leads to the ultimate wisdom or the direct perception of emptiness. Joyous effort can be one of the first 4, included as the last 3. How do we correlate the 2 bodies of the Buddha to these 2 collections? Because on our dedication, one of our dedications, we say, by the goodness of what I've just done, may all beings complete the collection of merit and wisdom, and thus gain the 2 ultimate bodies that merit and wisdom make. The Rupakaya or form body is the first 4, the body of a Buddha in their paradise or emanation body. The Dharmakaya, the wisdom body, are the last 2. Dharmakaya has 2 parts, the emptiness of it and wisdom or knowledge of a Buddha that understands emptiness and all its ramifications. When you come out of the direct perception of emptiness, you realize you've seen the Dharma body and you see the form body. You also realize up until then, you may have thought of a Tonka as just being a nice painting. after this, after the direct perception of emptiness, you know, it's like a picture of a photograph of someone who really exists. And so then they become very important to you. We're not supposed to collect things like tankas and display them as objects of art. It's totally inappropriate. If you have a tanka, it should be somewhere private, somewhere where you'll appreciate it. If you have a tanka of a wheel of life, which I encourage you to find, you can just print it out. Print it out and frame it and put it at the entrance to your apartment or your house. So when the first thing someone sees when they walk in is the wheel of life. It'll set good seeds for those who aren't Buddhists, and for those who are, it'll set even better seeds. Okay, is there a way to destroy merit already acquired? We talked about that. I believe we talked about that. Two things that can cut and destroy your root of virtue. Thinking the first one we talked about was getting mad at a bodhisattva. The second one is thinking the exact opposite of how something really exists. So that would be dismissing, saying to yourself, oh, karma and emptiness don't really exist. You have to mean that seriously. You can't just be tossing the idea around or talking about it. But if you dismiss the idea of karma and emptiness completely, absolutely, then you can destroy all your root of virtue. So what are the chances any of us would use that as a possible, unfortunately, do that? I think very slight. But anytime you get mad at anybody, there's a chance they're a bodhisattva. So what that really means is rather than risk getting mad at a bodhisattva, just don't get mad at all. And if you're a bodhisattva and you get mad at yourself, now, does that cut through your root of virtue? That's a very good question. I don't know. I just came up with that. Let's see. I know I'm a bodhisattva. I'm trying to be a bodhisattva. So I get mad at myself. I have to think about that. I need to write that down as a question to think about and get back to you guys on. That's a pretty good question. For once, I've asked a good question myself. Okay, let's see how I want to phrase this. I am a bodhisattva. Get mad at self. What do you guys think? Does it count if you're a bodhisattva to get mad at yourself? Do you destroy your root of virtue? I hope not, because if I do, then I've destroyed my root of virtue more than once. I will get back to you next class.
I have an opinion.
Okay.
Based on my opinion, nothing more than that. If I extrapolate from the virtues, I would say the answer to that is a yes in my current view of things. Because if I think about the virtues and the non-virtues, they also apply to yourself. So things like protecting life, it's also about protecting your own life. So making sure that you keep your body healthy for as long as possible, so that there's a higher chance for your mind stream to reach enlightenment and such like. So
Right.
Just on that, I would extrapolate it to then the self-infliction if you are a bodhisattva. But that's my thought process.
No, I don't disagree. I think that's very logical and very real. But I hope it's not true.
Me too.
I'm doomed otherwise. I would think about that's really a good question. I'll have to ask the oracle. My wife will have an answer, whether I agree with her or not. we'll see. Okay, so you can destroy your root of virtue by deciding that emptiness is not something you believe in anymore. Abhidharma says virtues are wiped out and gone. Majjhimika says they're damaged so severely they will never ripen, which is how the four powers works. Another way of looking at it from Geshe Michael is that you are disconnected from your virtue. It is cut, but you can reconnect. So a person has committed an opposite view. You must be able to hold the clear thought and have evaluated your ideas so thoroughly that you can sustain the lack of belief. Only humans can do this, and of humans, only those who are intellectually capable of thorough evaluation and holding a constant rejection. So I don't think any of us have that attitude. Oh, I know something I was going to share. I don't think I shared from last class. I was asked a question by a total stranger. I don't believe I ever met this young lady. She said her husband said he was a Buddhist and he could do whatever he wanted and was sleeping around. Did I discuss this with you? And sleeping around, she thought, well, if that's Buddhism, I want no part of it. So I wrote her back and said, the training I have, that is not Buddhism. That's a poor explanation of emptiness. So we have to be very careful when we're explaining the concept of emptiness, the pen and everything, to be absolutely sure the person gets it. So if you're going to start explaining the pen, explain it and then look straight at the person and ask them if they understand it. And ask them if that means they think they can do whatever they want. Because if they say, yeah, it sounds like that, you got to stop right then and there and make sure they understand that does not mean that at all. That's why you don't go teaching the pen to just anybody without making absolutely sure that you teach the karma end of it. So when you teach karma, when you teach emptiness, the pen, you teach both karma and emptiness. You always do both. They're the two sides of a coin. You don't just teach one. So I think this person got a teaching on emptiness that he interpreted to mean he could do whatever he wanted. She said she was going to read him the riot act. I hope I didn't get her in trouble with her husband. But so got to be careful about these things. Okay, what's next here? There's a sort of an extenuating circumstance. If you're tired and you get angry at someone, like your parents after a long day, getting mad at their kids, it's to destroy your root of virtue or cuts it. One could say then that it seems like there's a very large responsibility on the part of bodhisattvas to not get angry and stir up their emotions. Shantideva gets into that a lot. He gets into a lot about the responsibility of not setting up circumstances where people around you collect the bad karma towards you. Why aren't we, a student asked, why aren't we supposed to get angry at a bodhisattva? And Geshe Michael replied, not because it hurts them, but because it bothers them. You can help or hinder a bodhisattva in their work of helping reach enlightenment. So it wasn't really clear to him. Two ways to repair the wrong view. The first way that you destroy your root of virtue. Majjhimika says you can seriously damage the ability for the karmic seed to give a karmic result, and that's the four powers. Having doubt that your previous wrong view was correct, perhaps you cooked it and finally realized you were wrong. being certain, having certainty that your previous view was wrong, not just an opinion, but absolute certainty like a direct perception of karma. So from the Majjhimika Prasangika school, you can reactivate the karmas that were damaged. I need to look more into how you reactivate it. That's not absolutely clear to me. That's another thing I will look up in the Abhidharma Kosha. I'll see if there's anything on reactivating. It's a funny thing about my handwriting. It was always terrible, but now it's illegible because when I write, when you have Parkinson's, you start out with a big writing and then you slowly go down to very tiny writing. So I'm going to have to be able to reinterpret this after class. Okay, what's next here? Oh, projecting and finishing karma. The most powerful karma throughout your life is most likely the one to come up and project into the bardo. Geshe Michael says it's not necessarily that. It may be the last one on your mind when you die. It's only one karma that throws you the next whole life. It's only one of your karmas that you commit in this life which projects your whole new life. This is the Abhidharma and not accepted by everybody. It's not decided in the bardo, that's too late. It's decided before the bardo, and the bardo being appearance is an indication of what your rebirth will be. So when you're in the bardo, if you remember your teachings on this, and you see an object, you see the person going down, that's not good. You want to see them going up. So I guess you'll find out when you die. It's what's on your mind when you die, and that's most likely going to be you going through your life and recalling things and wishing you'd done something different. So I guess train yourself to think only of helping others, that you tried to be a bodhisattva, you helped others. And don't go through, when you're in the process of dying, don't go through a life review, because you'll come across karmas you don't want to have ripen. So that's one idea of the death meditation that we teach. You get yourself prepared for death by taking care of all those things that would come up that you wish you'd done but hadn't done. Talk to people, made sure they understood you loved them, or you made sure that they're getting the things you want when you die. It's really important to not have stuff on your mind. And I know I've emphasized this before, but when I had my experience rolling my truck, I can genuinely say that I was not concerned about anything. I knew my wife loved me. I loved her. I didn't have outstanding issues with anybody because I'd had those thoughts before and I took care of them. So again, the death meditation, whether you take the course or not, make sure that you have your stuff in order. It doesn't mean you have to have a will. It'd be better if you do. But if you're single and don't have a will, write something down. In the States, it becomes official if you get it notarized. I don't know if in Russia, do they have notary publics in Russia that sign documents and make them official? If you have a will, if you have anything you want specific people to get, write it down, get it stamped, and put it. I'd get 2 copies stamped. One you put in an envelope and put somewhere where people will get it if you die. So they obviously have to know where it is. So they have to make that fairly obvious to the people, not just everyday Joe Blow, but maybe your best friend or your parents or your siblings. And then have another copy you put away somewhere very safe so that you know where it is if you need to get to it. This all sounds morbid and all sounds silly when you're only 25 or 30. But when you reach 70 and you start having health issues, it's very comforting to know that you've got all that taken care of and then you're not worried about it when you die. That's the kind of stuff you don't want to be worrying about when you die. So how do you restore? I need to look that up. Okay. So projecting karma. So let's see you're stingy all your life. Your projecting karma would be stinginess, which is not what you want. Let's say you've been trying to be a bodhisattva the last 10 years of your life. You think about all the good things. So I guess my point is if you're dying, if you're starting to, you feel you're dying, don't think of your regrets. Think of all the good things you did. And I think that's the secret I'm going to take with me in order to try and get a advantageous rebirth. Abhidharma has a famous line that says, projecting karma is like the master painter who goes to a big canvas and sketches out a portrait, and the students, the finishing karma, fill in the details. So projecting is one karma, finishing in many karma takes effect at different times. So he talks about the 5 paths here. Well, here are 4 permutations of projecting and finishing karma. So it could be good projecting, bad finishing. So you have a human rebirth, but you're always sick. Bad projection, good finishing. You have a hell rebirth, but you're the Lord of hell. So you may have a bad rebirth, bad projecting, and you get to hell. But the good thing about being in hell is you're the Lord of hell. I'm not sure what the Lord of hell does, but it's got to be better than just being a minion. Good projecting, good finishing, human rebirth, you become enlightened. Bad projecting, bad finishing, a hell rebirth, and your rebirth in the lowest of the hells. Anybody remember what the lowest hell is called? It's Avicii. Yeah, Avicii hell. And that's where they call it a glowing filament. You're subjected to intense heat, you're screaming, and if anybody knows, they know you're in Avicii hell and you're screaming your lungs out. I hope I don't reach that. Now this is one thing that I'm having trouble understanding. If you're part of a group of people with the same goal, for example, war, then if someone else kills an enemy soldier, all the people possess the same karmic path of action. This is also true of good deeds. So I don't know about that one. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I need to think about that some more because it's a small karma, but we know karma grows. So I pay in income taxes. That money goes to fund the Department of Defense, which goes to fund the soldiers that kill people. So I get a small part of that karma, but karma grows. Does that grow and become a major karma for me? I just find that hard to believe. I'll have to deal with that one to group. I have a lot of homework. Okay. That's a pretty short class for today. Anybody have any questions? Go
May
ahead, Svetlana.
Yeah. Could I add like about war and government? I heard that we can write some letter that we don't support any military interventions and we do not support it. So at least karmically, we can claim our like disagreement.
That's very true. Thank you for remembering that. I think writing the letter, I would say if you pay your when you pay your taxes, you send that check. You say very sincerely to yourself, even out loud, by sending this money in, I'm supporting all the good things our government does, but I'm not supporting war and things like that. I think that'd be the way to solve that problem. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, can I ask the question like about future rebirth? The strongest seeds we are planting, like our habits, which are what we are doing on a constant basis, and the best good seeds we can do is to please our teachers, and it means to follow the instructions what they are telling us to do. Does it mean that then in our daily life we should follow this, check ourselves, do we follow instructions of our teachers and make it as an offering so that at the moment of death we can feel that we did the best what they gave us, and we can present it as a gift, all our attempts, all our tries of following the teachings.
That's all you can do, but you're right. The best the best offering any of my students can give me is to practice what I teach them. And if I was to see them in action, I'd be able to say, wow, that student really understands what I'm talking about. And that's what the rejoicing is. You guys are getting very good at rejoicing and remembering. It's not just a good deed, you're setting seeds for your good deeds, you're setting seeds for your bad deeds. So remembering and confessing something that you did that wasn't good, but you regret it because you know it's going to come back to haunt you. That's the wisdom that I'm looking for in all my students, to make that more and more a critical part of their daily life. And that's what the book does too. It makes you, keeps you throughout the day thinking about your vows and how you act. Any other questions? I think it's too easy to dwell on the negative. It says don't ignore it. But when something negative happens, rejoice in the fact that you know as the karma ripening. Rejoice in the fact that you can purify it by not responding in an ignorant way. So, for instance, when I get mad at myself, maybe this is the answer for getting mad at a bodhisattva. I get mad at myself, I immediately stop and I see the error of my ways, and I do a 4 powers. Then I believe, this is me personally, that just makes sense to me that would prevent you from cutting your root of virtue. The best thing to do is not get mad. The next best thing to do is immediately do a 4 powers. I think that's the solution. The important thing about the four powers is not to use it as an excuse. Oh, I can get mad at somebody because I can do a four powers to negate the bad seed. That's not the point of the four powers. The point of the four powers is to take a bad deed and lessen its effect, but not as an excuse to do the negative deed. Okay, let's dedicate. Through this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of Guru Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious Bodhi mind not yet born arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. May the source of benefit and goodness, the Dharma, spread and expand. May the beings upholding the Dharma have excellent health. May the source of happiness and well-being for all embodied beings, the Dharma taught by the Buddhas, always increase. May I continue to have such wonderful students to teach me every time I teach. And may they all be successful in their endeavor to become enlightened just as soon as possible. Okay, we'll see you Thursday. Now, what's going on? Though Thursday is a national holiday, but since you guys don't celebrate it, I didn't see any point in my celebrating it by not teaching. So we'll see you on the 4th of July. And okay. Okay. Good night, goodbye, farewell, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Спасибо, Анна.